Prashachiputta atra surupam rupam tasakacha uri puri maturim goshvartim radha kundam girivaram ahoradikamadhuvasam prapto yasya pratita kripaya Śrī Guru Tammanatosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hema Bhaddivyat-chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Bhaktya Vihina Aparada Lakshay Jivdastakama Karam Kamani Kripa Mahitam Sharanam Prapana Brinde Namaste Cham Brinde Namaste Govinda Damodaram Madhaveti Govinda Damodaram Madhaveti Govinda Damodaram Madhaveti Govinda Damodaram Madhaveti Hey Krishna, Hey Yadava, Hey Sakhi, Govinda Damodaram Madhaveti Sham Sundar Shikanda Shikar Smraha Smurli Manora Radhakar Sikama Makripandithe Supriyacharna Kinkarim Kuru Tavaivasmi Na Jivami Tvaya Vina Iti Vikyaya Devi Tam Namam Chanantikam. First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadiya Paramaratma Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Leela Pravishta Om Vishnupar Ashtotarasata Sri Rupanuga Charivarya Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakalpaturupasakripasanupatpatinam Papna Vaishnavi Bhyo.
Śrī Gurudeva ki.
By the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Gauranga, today we are observing this most blessed, pure, transcendental occasion, that is Śrī Guru Purnima Maha Mahotsava ki Jai. This festival is the day of the appearance of Sri Krishna Dvaipayana Vedavyas. His name is see Krishna because he is the incarnation of Krishna himself. His name is Dvaipayana because he was born on an island, a dweep, in the midst of the Jamuna river. Just in Mathura, in between Mathura Madhuvan and Lohavan. So if you will come to Brajmandal Parikrama, then every year we go there and have the darshan of that island. So his name is Dvaipayana, born on a dweep. And his name is Veda-Vyas. Vyas means the divider. Originally, there was one Veda, Yajur Veda. But in Kali Yuga, at the end of Dwarpa Yuga and the beginning of Kali Yuga, Srila Vyasadeva knew that the memory of the Brahmanas would gradually be lost. It would go down. And so he divided the one Veda into four, so that certain Brahmanas, they could be the authorities on this branch of the Veda, this branch, and so on. So he divided it into the Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, and Atharva Veda. And the mantras which are left over from that, he made the Puranas, he compiled the Vedanta Sutra, the Mahabharata, and within the Mahabharata he gave Bhagavad Gita. So in this way he served his Gurudev, Srila Narad Muni, very intensely, with great endeavor. The word Vyas also means diameter. In a circle, the line that touches both sides and passes through the middle is called Vyas. So because Srila Vyasadeva, he is focused on the center of existence, Sri Krishna. And his vision, he could see the spiritual world and also the living entities who are conditioned in the material world. He's touching both sides. So his name is Sri Krishna Dvaipayan Veda Vyas. So on this day, it is traditional that one should perform Vyasa Puja, the worship of Vyasadeva, and also one's whole Guru Parampara. It is by the mercy of all the great Vaishnavas and great sages that transcendental knowledge comes to this world. Mayahi yasya jagadanda shatani sute traigunya tadvishaya veda vitaya mana satvara lamba parasatva vishuddha sattvam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. In the Brahma Samhita it is described how in the spiritual world the transcendental knowledge is always pure because there's no Maya there. And between the spiritual world and the material world there is the Viraja river. So this side of the Viraja river there are Trigunas, the three gunas. So the transcendental knowledge, it cannot mix with three gunas. So the rishis, Sri Krishna sends the great sages into this world and they make an intense endeavor by taking shelter of Vishuddha Sattva, by being absorbed in their sadhana, and they experience within them the Vishuddha Sattva, the spiritual energy of the transcendental realm. So taking shelter, Sattva, Valamba, Parasattva, Vishuddha Sattvam, taking shelter of Vishuddha Sattva, the rishis make a very hard endeavor to manifest the transcendental knowledge on this side of the Viraja river. So though the transcendental knowledge is unfailing and unfaltering on the other side of the Viraja river, on this side of the Viraja river, transcendental knowledge is always unstable. So, evam parampara praptam imam rajasho vidu sakalina mahata yoga nashta prantava. Krishna said that the knowledge comes down in the Guru Parampara, but over a long period of time, gradually the knowledge becomes lost because on this side of the Viraja river, it's very unstable. And therefore, we are indebted to those great personalities who have been sent to this world by the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, who come again and again and establish the correct Siddhanta. So Srila Vyasadeva, they are all representatives of Srila Vyasadeva, the conclusion that he has given in the Vedas. And they are all worshipped on this day. Some people think that the Vyasa Puja is the worship only of your own Guru. But actually, Vyasa Puja is the day when Sri Guru engages all of his Anugat Jan, those who are under his guidance, in the worship of his own Guru Parampara. This is the meaning of Vyasa Puja. Just like a garland, there are so many flowers, but if you pull out one, then the garland is broken. So in the same way, without the unbroken chain of the realized masters, then the transcendental knowledge, it cannot reach us in this world. So it's necessary to honor all the members of our Sri Guru Parampara. Not only on this day do we honor those in our line, but also in all the 4 Vaishnav Sampradayas. So, according to the ancient Padati that was followed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, on this day we worship the Panchakam. 5 Panchakams. And since the time of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Gaudiyas have had 2 Panchakams in order to honor Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. So, Panchakam means a group of 5 personalities. So, the first Panchakam is the Krishna Panchakam. So, in the middle, you can see there is Krishna. That's 1, and plus 4 other personalities. He is Chatur Vyuha, quadruple expansion of Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. Then there is the Vyas Panchakam, the worship of Srila Vyasadeva and the 4 main disciples to whom he entrusted the 4 Vedas. Paila Rishi, Jaimini Rishi, the Angira Rishi and the Vaisampayan Rishi. These are the 4 rishis entrusted with 4 Vedas by Vyasadeva. So Krishna Panchakam, Vyasa Panchakam, then Acharya Panchakam. Acharya Panchakam means to worship the main founding acharyas of the 4 Vaishnav Sampradayas. So in the Brahma Sampradaya, it is Madhvacharya. In the Sri Sampradaya, Ramanujacharya. In the Rudra Sampradaya, Vishnu Swami. And in the Chatu Sampradaya, 4 Kumara Sampradaya, it is the Nimbaditya. So 4 acharyas and Shukadev Goswami, the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, makes the Panchakam, the 3rd Panchakam. Then the 4th Panchakam is called Sanakadi Panchakam. It's the worship of the 4 Kumaras and along with Visvaksena. Visvaksena is an associate of Lord Narayan whose worship removes all obstacles. And then the 5th Panchakam is your own Guru and 4 generations going back. So at least your 5 generations beginning with your own Guru, they are worshipped. So these were the 5 traditional Panchakams that were worshipped since ancient times. And especially this was followed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu, Srivas Thakur. And since the time of Mahaprabhu, our acharyas have given 2 more Panchakams. One is the Tattva Panchakam. The Panchatattva, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta. Of course, the Panchatattva themselves are not going to do the Tattva Panchakam Puja. So after them, to honor them, that has been given. And then Upasya Panchakam. Upasya Panchakam means who is our object of worship. Guru, Gaur Gadadhar and Radha Krishna. Of course, Gaur Gadadhar are Radha Krishna. But our Upasya is Radha Krishna. They manifest as Gaur Gadadhar, and the via medium through which we approach them is Gurudev himself. So these are the 7 Panchakams you can see here, whose the puja was just performed. Perhaps you know that, just before this day, Nityananda Prabhu arrived in Navadvip. And he was hiding in the house of Nandanacharya. And the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is our Gaur Sundar Nimai Pandit, he had never seen him before in this incarnation. And he sent Haridas Thakur and Srivas here and there. Oh, a great personality has arrived in Navadvip. Go and find him. And they looked everywhere, but they could not find him. So when they returned, then Nimai Pandit, he got up and he immediately went from Srivas Thakur's house directly to the house of the garden of Nandanacharya in Isudhyan, where Nityananda Prabhu was sitting in meditation. And then there was a beautiful meeting of Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam for the first time in their manifest Leela here. So you must come, everyone, to Navadvip Dham Parikrama and visit all these places. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew that the next day would be Guru Purnima, the Vyasa Puja day. Now, even though it's the duty of persons in all ashrams, whether they're brahmacharis, grihastas, vanaprastha or sannyasi, it is especially important that all sannyasis and brahmacharis must perform this Vyasa Puja ceremony in accordance with this tradition. And so Mahaprabhu, that time being a grihasta and seeing Nityananda Prabhu, he was not a sannyasi. He was actually he's an avadut, but he was playing the role as a brahmachari because his name is Nityananda Swarup. So Swarup is the name of a brahmachari who serves a sannyasi whose name is Tirtha. You see, each of the names of the sannyasis, they have brahmacharis which are connected with them. So for example, the name of a brahmachari who is serving a sannyasi called Bharati is Chaitanya. So, because Nityananda Prabhu was the servant of Lakshmipati Tirtha, so his brahmachari name was Swarup, Nityananda Swarup. And he had a danda and kamandalu, brahmachari danda and kamandalu, water pot also. So Mahaprabhu went to him, considering that he should be the one, Nityananda Prabhu should be the one to actually manifest the Vyasa Puja and they'll all participate in it. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked, "Oh, Nityananda Gosai, tomorrow is Guru Purnima. Where will you conduct your Vyasa Puja ceremony?" So then Nityananda Prabhu looked around and he took the hand of Srivas Thakur. He said, "In the house of this Brahmin." So then our Gaur Sundar said to Srivas Thakur, "Oh, this is a very big responsibility. Now you have to be the host of Nityananda Prabhu's performance of the Vyasa Puja." Srivas Thakur said, "It is no difficulty at all. I have in my home everything which is necessary. I have the picture of Srila Vyasadeva. We have flowers, we have the tambul, we have the upavit, the Brahmin threads. We have all the paraphernalia for puja. The only thing that I don't have is the padati." Padati means the manual on how to perform the puja, but I know someone who has it. One of my neighbors has it. I'll go and borrow it from him. So then the next day, all the devotees assembled in the Srivasangan, in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. There was a beautiful portrait of Srila Vyasadeva. All the paraphernalia that was there. He had the padati. Everything was arranged like this, but in a full scale. Now with modernization, everything becomes miniaturized. I remember the cell phone used to be this big. Yeah. So everything was ready. And Srivas Thakur, he took a garland in his hands and he gave the garland into the hand of Nitai and said, "Oh Nityananda Prabhu, please offer this garland to Srila Vyasadeva and begin the Vyasa Puja." So then Nityananda Prabhu, he took the garland in his hands and he said, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." And then Srivas Thakur was saying, begin the puja. It's time to begin the puja now. We're all waiting. And Nitai was just saying, and he was mumbling something to himself that Srivas Thakur, he couldn't hear, he couldn't understand. So then Srivas Thakur thought, what to do? I cannot order him around. So let me go and speak with the Gaur Sundar. So then he went to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and said, "Oh, you're Nityananda. I asked him to begin the puja and offer the garland, but he is not giving it." So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "All right, let me take care of this." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu walked up to Nityananda Prabhu, and as soon as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approached Nitai, then Nitai took the garland and put it around Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru Premanande! Why? Why? Because tenne brahmaridya adi kavaye muyanti yatsuraha. It is Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who empowers everyone. Vande Krishnam Jagad Gurum. Krishna is the original, the Guru, and he expands as Balaram or Nityananda Prabhu, who is the Supreme Lord himself in the mood of his own servant. And so we say that Baladev or Nityananda Prabhu is the Akhanda Guru Tattva, but the origin of everything. Eite Changsa Kala Pungsa and Swayam. Krishna is the origin of everything. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo na Medya na Bahuna Srutena Ye Mevai se Brinute Tena Labhyasta Saisatva Vivrinute Tanum Swam. One cannot know the Supreme Truth. One cannot have the darshan of the Supreme Personality face to face just by giving very learned discourses. You cannot realize that Supreme Truth by great intelligence or even by so much study of the Vedas. That Supreme Truth is only revealed to that person to whom he reveals himself. So Prabhupada Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, he commented on this verse. He said, quoting Srimad Bhagavatam, Yathataro mula nisechanena tripyanti tatskanda bhajopashaka. As he said in Srimad Bhagavatam, just as by pouring water on the root of a tree, all the branches, leaves and flowers get the benefit. Or just as by giving food to the stomach, then all the prana and all the senses are benefited. So similarly, by worshipping Bhagavan Swayam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the worship of everyone else is included in that. So to prove this point, on the Vyasa Puja day, Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam, Akhanda Guru Tattva himself, Nityananda Prabhu, gave the garland to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sachinandan Gauri ki jai. So this very ceremony we are honoring today. The seat, the asana of Sri Guru is called the Vyasasana. It means that that person who is performing the service of training the disciples on the path of pure bhakti, he cannot represent his own idea. It is Vyasasana. Those who sit on the Vyasasana have to represent the darshan, the vision of Vyasadeva himself. So the history of that darshan of Vyasadeva has been given in the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam. Perhaps you know, Srila Vyasadeva, he was in his Samyaprash ashram in the Himalayas, Badrik ashram. and he was not feeling satisfied. Even though he divided the Vedas into 4 and presented the Puranas, the Upanishads, the Vedanta Sutra, the Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita, he was still not satisfied. And he was thinking, why? And just then, his Gurudev, Narada Muni, came there. And he gave pranam to his Gurudev and offered him asan and some water and sweet words, and then sat before his Guru. So Gurudev could understand his heart. Narad Rishi said, are you happy? Can a person who accepts the body to be the soul ever be happy? What does that mean? It means that the soul is our identity, who we are. And the body is external. It is not the self. So by serving the body, the soul can never become satisfied. So in the same way, Srila Vyasadeva had written on many subjects in Vedic literature. But he had not written in such a way to express the exclusive glories of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan, and especially of Radhika and Vraja Gopis. And so Krishna can only be satisfied when Radhika has been fully glorified. And therefore, in comparison to this essence of all transcendental knowledge, many things he had written, they were really quite external and superfluous. So when Narad Rishi posed this question, can the self be happy by identifying with the body? Then Vyasadeva replied to him, Tvam pariyatam arka iva trilokim antascharo vayor ivatma sakshi paravare brahmani dharmato bratai snatashname nyunam alam vichakshva. He said, O Gurudev, tam pariyatam arka iva lokim. That means that, O Gurudev, just as the sun travels throughout the whole universe and sees everything externally, so Gurudev, you are traveling everywhere in the universe and you see everything outside. And tascharo vayu ivatma sakshi, just as pran, vayu, the air, is traveling inside everyone and sees everyone from the inside. So you are also in the heart of everyone and you see inside. So Gurudev, your vision is outside and inside everywhere. So paravare brahmani, damato bratai, I was fixed in performing vows and in the compiling and meditation on the Vedic literatures. Snatasya, I'm bathed in that, I'm absorbed in that. But snatasya nunam means something lacking. Insufficiency. There is a deficiency in me. Snatasta nyunam. May alam vichakshva. Vichakshva means describe it. Oh Gurudev, describe what's wrong with me. What's lacking in me? What am I missing in my life? So then, Narad Rishi very lovingly chastised his disciple Vyasadeva. He said, Bhavata nudito prayam yasho bhagavato malam yeneva so natushdeta manyetad darshanam kilam. The meaning is, Bhavata nudito prayam, you have almost not described at all the glories of Bhagavan. Have the glories of Sri Krishna's loving intimate pastimes with his highest devotees in the Nikunjas of Vrindavan, on the bank of Jamuna and Giraj Govardhan, being described in the Bhagavad Gita? Have you seen? In the Mahabharata? Have you seen? In the Mahabharata, or Vedanta Sutra, or in the Rig Veda, how Radharani is weeping and crying and speaking in the madness of separation to a bumblebee? The real essence of love has not been expressed. So bhavata nodito prayam yasho bhagavato malam. You have not described the supreme glories, pure glories of Krishna. Almost. Prayam means you've almost said nothing. He said something, but not deeply, expansively on the supreme subject. So yene baso natusyeta. How can a soul be satisfied if they have not satisfied the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna? So because you have not satisfied Krishna by your writing, by the Shastra that you have manifest, therefore, samyak manyay tad darshanam kilam. I think, in my opinion, your darshan is kilam. Kilam means lacking. So Vyasadeva said, what is the nyunam? What is lacking in me? He said, your darshanam kilam. Your vision is lacking. And why is your vision lacking? Because everyone's vision is exactly proportionate to the degree to which they have or not satisfied Krishna. Ye yatamam prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamyaham. See, Krishna said, I reciprocate with everyone. And therefore, the satisfaction or the completeness of the vision of any person is exactly proportionate to the degree to which they have satisfied the Supreme Lord. So then, Narad continued to chastise Srila Vyasadeva. He said, Tatonyata kinchana yad vivakshata pritak drishas tat krita rupa nama bihi. Na kahichit kwapi cha dushtitamati labeta vatahata nauri vashpadam. Meaning is, oh Vyasadeva, you've described how to do karmakanda. How people can do various yagyas to go to heaven. You've described about mukti, liberation. So you spoke on so many subjects. But this is the point. Tatanyata kinchana yad vivakshita. Whatever you desire to describe, pritak drisha, which is separate in vision from the supreme truth, Sri Krishna. Then what happens? Na kaichit kwapi cha dushtitamati. It makes the consciousness of the living entity dushtita. To realize the supreme truth, you have to go into samadhi in trance. One has to have a completely still consciousness. But any talk, any description on any subject other than Krishna makes the one have dushtitamati, not stita, dushtita, oscillating consciousness. So all these subjects described in the Vedas, which are related to the three gunas and to dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, which are not actually the dharma of the jiva, which are not related to the supreme absolute truth, advaya gyan paratattva, the non-dual reality. All those discussions, they make your consciousness oscillate. And due to this oscillation of consciousness, what happens when the consciousness is not steady? The instability of consciousness is the actual ontological foundation of all anarthas. Why are we in illusion? Because the consciousness is unsteady. Why do we have attachments? Because the consciousness is unsteady. The unsteadiness comes from Rajagun, the mode of passion. And so, the anartha means Chaitan Dharma Avarnamayi Vritti. This is the definition of anartha, the unwanted, worthless things. Chaitan Dharma. Chaitan means consciousness. Dharma means the nature. We are souls. We have a Chaitan Dharma. We are conscious living beings. But we feel as if we are this meat machine, this physical body. Very strongly we identify with the physical body and the senses. So our Chaitan Dharma is covered. avarnamayi. Avarnamayi. And vritti means the movement of the consciousness. So anartha, the unwanted things that need to be removed, that is called Chaitan Dharma Avarnamayi vritti. The movements of your consciousness, of your chitta, the subconscious mind, the movements of the chitta which bring about the covering of our spiritual nature. So all discussions, except for the discussions of Krishna, they cause a dushtita mati, this oscillation. And then we experience, I need this, I want that, so many desires and attachments. So Narad Rishi says, dushtita matir, labaita vathahata now ivaspadam. And the person whose consciousness is unsteady, then they are exactly like a boat on the water, just being blown away here and there in different directions by a strong wind. You can see. You go into the street and ask anyone, what's the purpose of your life? Oh, my purpose is whatever, to become a lawyer. My purpose is to become social media influencer. My purpose is to make lots of money, gambling on the stock market or whatever. People have just all types of ideas. But as they go through their life, they go this way, then they change their mind, and then they want to go this way, and then go this way. And lifetime after lifetime, they're just wandering around in the material world like a boat, which is blown by a strong wind here and there. They have no guiding star. They have no fixed value system by which they can ascertain which way to go. They don't understand the telos. That is the teleology of their own soul. Just like a seed has the telos to grow into a tree, so the soul has a purpose, but they have no idea what is the purpose of my soul. So Narad Rishi was chastising Vyasadeva. By reading your Vedas, then someone thinks, oh, my goal is to have many children by doing this yajna. My goal is to go to heaven and enjoy with the apsaras like Urvashi and Menaka and Ramba. My goal is to become a king or an emperor, and so on. So they become confused. So Narad Rishi was chastising Vyasadeva. Just see how humble Vyasadeva is. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the magnum opus of Srila Vyasadeva. And in the very first canto, he gives the story about how his guru was correcting him. Beautiful pastime, but he's very humble too. Give these things. So, Narad Rishi told Vyasadeva, Jugupsitam dama kritanu shashata swabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha yad vakyuto dharma ititarastito na manyate tasya nivarnam jana. Oh Vyas, you've made a chaotic situation. Why? Jugupsitam dharma kritanu shashata. You've explained a dharma which is jugupsita. It is to be condemned. It is contemptible. Why? Because these performers of Vedic rituals to go to heaven and enjoy the senses and then again fall down to earth and so on. This is not auspicious for the soul. So Jugupsitam dharma, it's a contemptible dharma that you have written about. Pitanushasata. Swabhava raktasya mahan vyatikramaha. You've made a great vyatikram, a great transgression. Because swabhava raktasya, that means the living entities, they are raktasya, they are those who are attached to their own swabhav. So let us say, Vyasadeva has written about different paths in the Vedas, but in the Gita, in the end of Gita, there he is put, Sarva dharman prityaja mamekam sharanam braja. Leave all these other dharmas and surrender to me, Krishna is saying. So Vyasadeva has written this, and he's written something about bhakti. But because you have given everyone all these other options, they're not going to choose bhakti. Swabhava raktasya, because they're attached to their own nature, they'll choose the option which is most in line with their conditioned nature. So, namanyate tasya nivaramam jana. And therefore, if a sadhu will come to town and say, oh, leave these fruitive activities, this path of karma, leave this path of jnana, leave this path of yoga, Ashtanga yoga, and surrender to Krishna. Nivaranam jana means they tell them, give up these things. Then, namanyate tasya, those persons attached to their own, the conditioned nature, they will not accept that person's good instructions. Why? Because they will say, no, we are following the Vedas. It's written here. We are following the Vedas that have been compiled by Vyasadeva. So this is what Narad Rishi is saying to Vyas. They'll all use an authority to follow their own mental speculations. And if anyone gives them good advice, they'll use the authority to reject that good advice of others. It's amazing. So there are many, many verses in this Narad Vyas Samvad. If we'll go through them one by one, it will take the whole week. In this, the end of this long discussion, see, Narad Rishi, he had explained to Vyasadeva his own experience, how he became perfect, how he attained his perfect spiritual body that was free to wander anywhere within the material and spiritual worlds, playing on his veena. And he said to Vyasadeva, Iti murtyabhidanena mantra murtim amurtikam yajjate yagya purusham sa samyag darshana puman. He said, oh Vyas, iti mantra bhidanena, I meditated on a mantra. Mantra murtim amurtikam. And this mantra is a sound, but this sound has a murti. Amurtikam, and also no murti. Murti means form. So here the meaning is, this sound vibration, even though it appears like a sound vibration, it actually has a spiritual form, and when one is purified, he will experience the spiritual form of Sri Krishna in this sound vibration. That they are non-different actually. Abhinatvam nama namino. Mantra amurtikam. Here now amurtikam means this form is no form. That means no material form. It's a spiritual form. And the murti also means hard. Solid, hard. So amurtikam means the form that this mantra will manifest to you will be very soft and sweet, Brajendanandan, Krishna of Vrindavan. And if you'll remember this mantra, Yajjate Yagya Purusham, this is the method of worshipping the Yagya Purush. That here, Yagya means the supreme enjoyer. Bhaktaram Yagya Tapasam. So actually Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. No one enjoys more than Krishna. So it is not about Yagya Purush, the Mahavishnu or like that. It means Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So, sa samyak darshana puman. He said, when you do this, then you'll get the samyak darshan. Your previous darshan was darshanam kilam. It was a deficient, insufficient darshan. By chanting this mantra, you get samyak darshan. Complete darshan of the absolute truth. So Narad gave mantra and he blessed Vyasadeva. And then he flew away playing on his veena. And Srila Vyasadeva, he sat and he began to remember the mantra given by Sri Guru. Bhakti yogena manasi samyak pranihite male apasyam purushat purnam mayam chatad apasrayam. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam, then Vyasadeva, he brought his mind into a state of complete restraint. Samyak pranihite, completely restrained his consciousness. Amale. And his consciousness was completely pure. By bhakti yoga, by devotion. Surrender. It is absurd that the tiny living entity can realize the unlimited Supreme Lord. But when the living entity follows Vyasadev's example and he thinks, he gives up the vidya buddhi. Vidya buddhi means the idea that I know something. If we remember mantra, thinking I am very smart, I know many things, nothing will happen. To remember the mantras, Diksha mantras given by Gurudev and Mahamantra, one has to give up vidya buddhi. I know nothing. And surrender. And pray for the deity of the mantra to mercifully, by his own sweet mercy, reveal himself. In this way, Vyasadeva went into trance and he realized Apasya Purusha Purnam. He realized the Purna Purush. Here the indication is Radha Purna Shakti, Krishna Purna Shaktiman. Bhagavan is not Purna complete unless he is with the Purna Shakti. So here Purna Purush means Radha and Krishna. He realized the pastimes of Krishna, he realized the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and the Braja Gopis. And also, Mayam Chatara Pasrayam, he saw that Maya was always under the control of Sri Krishna and afraid, shy to come before him. He saw that there were countless living entities floating in Maya, in illusion. Anato pasamam sakshad bhakti yoga madokshade lokasya janato vidvangs chakre sattvata sanghitam. The living beings who are covered with anarthas in this world, they can be transferred from the material energy into the spiritual world simply by hearing the Sattvata Samhita, that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So what Vyasadeva saw, then he dictated it to Ganesh, it was written down, and that was how the eternal Srimad Bhagavatam is not new, he did not compose it. Only Vyasadeva became the instrument for the manifestation of the eternal Srimad Bhagavatam in this world. And by hearing that Srimad Bhagavatam, one becomes free from all abhadra, inauspiciousness. Here, inauspiciousness especially means namaparad. And when a person is free from namaparad, then when they chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, what happens? Narad Muni Bhaja Bina Radhik Raman Name. Narad Vinod's Jivana Sudurmi Niryas Madhuri Purat and Krishna Nama Kamaspanone Rasane Rasena Sada. When a person chants the pure holy name, then they hear the Veena. The vibration of the strings of Narad Muni's Veena. And then they experience like Amrita nectar falling from the sky. And the beautiful form of Radharaman appears before them, along with Radhika. This is called the Shuddhanam. Mantra Murti Amurtikam. The Swarup of the mantra. So Srila Vyasadeva had this realization and he imparted that to Madhvacharya, and in this way it came down through our Guru Parampara. And Sri Guru, that pure Vaishnava who sits on the Vyasan, the seat of Srila Vyasadeva today, becomes the conduit, the channel through which that same message of Vyasadeva comes to us, by which we can become free from all namaparad and realize the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Gopis in Vrindavan. So on this day, we worship Vyasadeva and all the representatives of Srila Vyasadeva. Another synonym, a synonym for Vyasa Puja, Śrī Vyasa Puja, is Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam Padyarpanam. This is the synonym of Śrī Vyasa Puja. Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam, that means the lotus feet of the Guru, who is decorated with Śrī. Śrī means the highest treasure, Radha Dasyam. So Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam means at the lotus feet of that Guru who is decorated with the highest beauty of Radhika service, Padyarpanam. Padya means, you know Padya? Etat Padyam Ayunguru. It means when you wash the lotus feet of a respectable person. When you the water that you offer to wash the lotus feet of a respectable person, this is called Padya. So Śrī Vyasa Puja, one synonym of that is Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam Padyarpanam, the offering of Padya to Sri Guru. What is the meaning? Because many times you may have seen or you may have heard that on the Vyasa Puja day, then the disciples, they bathe the feet of Guru, then they take the Charnamrita and sprinkle it on their heads, or they drink Charnamrita like this. So what is the meaning of this Padyarpanam? Is it because Sri Guru, on his way to the temple room, his feet got covered in dust, and so we have to wash them? Is that the meaning? No. The Padyarpanam, the offering of Padya to the feet of a person, is the method by which that revered personality reveals his manobhishta to another soul. Yeah? Here mano means the heart, and abhishta means the most cherished desire. The most cherished desire of the heart, so that is called manobhishta. So, this ceremony of bathing the lotus feet of Guru, or as we do puja, etat padyam gurave namah, is the system, the process by which a transcendental person infuses his manobhishta into the heart of the person who is offering the padya. This is the meaning. So Srila Narottam Das Thakur has said, Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam sthapitam yena bhutale swayam rupa kadamhayam dadati swapadantikam. When will Srila Rupa Goswami part? Give me the shelter of his lotus feet. Srila Rupa Goswami is that extraordinary person who established in this world the mission to fulfill manobhishta, the innermost heart's desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's manobhishta is Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, to realize and reveal the glory of Radharani's love. And the Kevala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana, to give to others a completely, purely sweet, human-like, devoid of any sense of awe and reverence and opulence and bhagavata godhood, Swarasiki, spontaneous flow of service to Radha and Krishna in the Astakaliya Lila. This is the manobhishta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to reveal the glories of Radhika's love, Sri Radhaya Pranaya Mahima, Prema Rasa Nirjas, the essence of Prema Rasa, and Kevala Madhurya Mai Swarasiki Upasana, to distribute. And so all the great acharyas, that was realized by Rupa Goswami and then passed down, and it is the innermost heart's desire, the manobhishta of every acharya. So the actual meaning of Vyasa Puja is Śrī Gurvāṣṭakam Padyapanam. It is the day upon which we offer Padya, we wash the lotus feet of Sri Guru or the day upon which we pray that the Manobhishta, the innermost heart's desire that Mahaprabhu revealed in the heart of Rupa Goswami, will be revealed to us. And thereby we become Satshishya, a bona fide disciple. Because there's no such thing as a bona fide disciple who did not realize the Manobhishta, the innermost cherished desire of his Guru's heart. So yesterday we began to discuss the glories of Guru as they are described by Srila Vishwanath Thakur in his Gurvāṣṭakam. We discussed the first verse, then the second verse. I want to just add something to our discussion of the second verse. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita. The Sri Guru is always absorbed in the Kirtan, glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Leelamrita Sar Thara Shata Shatadhar Dasudike Bohe Jaha Hoite Sehi Chaitanya Leela Hoi Sarovara Akshay Manohangsa Charahatohati. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Pad said that the pastimes, the beautiful pastimes of Sri Krishna, they are Amritasa, the essence of immortal sweet nectar. Tara Shata Shatadara, and these pastimes are unlimited. They're flowing in hundreds of streams. Dasadike Toheja Hoite. The Leela of Krishna is flowing in hundreds of streams in all 10 directions. North, south, east, west, and then the corners and up and down. Everywhere. 10 directions. But if there's a stream, there are streams of water, they have to be coming from somewhere. A great reservoir. So say Chaitanya Leela Hoy, Sarovara Akshay. There is an Akshay Sarovar, an unlimited, inexhaustible reservoir that is called Chaitanya Leela. In other words, these unlimited streams, hundreds of streams of Krishna, Radha Krishna Leela going all directions, they're all coming from the reservoir of Gaura Leela. Manohangsa Charahatahate, may my mind become like a swan, gliding upon that inexhaustible Sarovar, lake of Gaura Leela. So this is the reason. Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita. Because it is impossible to enter into the unlimited pastimes of Radha and Krishna without becoming like a swan first in the Mahaprabhu's Leela. The pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they're called Parishisht Leela. Parishisht means the appendix. Like at the end of a book, then you have the appendix. So Gaura Leela is not a separate book, if you like, from Radha Krishna Leela. It's just the Radha Krishna Leela has some special portion which gives the conclusion of everything. That is Gaura Leela. So Gaura Leela is Parishishta Leela. Gaura Leela is the Bhajan Leela. It's a pastime where Krishna is not the supreme enjoyer, the Vishai of everyone's love, but rather he takes the position of the Ashray, the shelter of love for himself. So it's a Bhajan Leela. And therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us how to do bhajan by his own example. Therefore, those who want to enter into Raganuga Bhakti, they should worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as their bhajan shiksha guru. Nadarmam nadharmam shrutikana niruktam kilakuru brajai radha krishna prachura paricharyam hiyatanu sachisunam nandishwarpati tattve gurubaram mukund prastatve smaraparam ajasram nanumana. Raghunath Das Goswami has raised the question. Oh, bhakti is one-pointed. But we have to worship Guru. We have to worship Mahaprabhu. We have to worship Radha Krishna. This is three-pointed. How can we become one-pointed? So in reply, in Raganuga Bhakti, he's saying, Sachisunum Nandishwarpati Sutatve Gurubaram. You should know that the son of Sachi is the son of Nanda Maharaj. So if you worship the son of Nanda Maharaj, you have not neglected Mahaprabhu. Sachisunum Nandishwarpati Sutatve Gurubaram. But accept Mahaprabhu as your Bhajan Shiksha Guru. How do we worship the Bhajan Shiksha Guru? By performing bhajan according to his shiksha. So because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Mani Nama Nadahaya Sada Krishna Nama Labe Braje Radha Krishna Seva Manasa Karibe. Mahaprabhu gave bhajan shiksha to Raghunath Das Goswami. He said, give respect to everyone and don't demand respect for yourself. And continually chant Krishna Nam. And as you are chanting Krishna Nam, there will awaken there the continuous service. Continually serve Radha Krishna in Braja in your heart as you are chanting Harinam. So this is Mahaprabhu's shiksha. So Mahaprabhu is not neglected by becoming one-pointed to Radha and Krishna, but rather we have truly worshipped him by following the order of our Bhajan Shiksha Guru. And anyway, Krishna is Mahaprabhu. So, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is Parishish Leela, Bhajan Leela, and the third thing is called Udbodak Leela. Udbodak Leela means the pastime that awakens your realization of the Nitya Leela of Radha Krishna. And before the class today, we sang the song Gorangera Duti Pada Jardana Sampada Se Jane Bhakti Rasasar. Those who have accepted the lotus feet as their complete and only exclusive treasure, only they can know the essence of Bhakti Ras. Gauranga Gunete Jure Nitya Leela Taras Pure. By appreciating the beautiful qualities of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, the Nitya Leela of Radha and Krishna will be awakened in one's heart. Therefore, Gaura Leela is called Udbodak Leela, the pastime that awakens the realization of Radha Krishna's pastimes. So, I'm trying to express some of the meanings behind this second verse of Shikshastakam, Mahaprabhu Kirtana Nritya Gita. How, see, Guru is absorbed in the glorification of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One should glorify Mahaprabhu and give pranam to his Leela, and by his mercy, that is, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. When he sings in Kirtan, he goes into trance thinking, I am Radharani, and then becomes lost in Vrindavan Leela. And by giving pranam to Mahaprabhu, you follow him into the Leela of Radha and Krishna. Understand? So, Romanchakam Pasru Taranga Bhajo Vande Garoshi Charnaravinda. Then Srila Vishwanath Thakur is saying, Śrī Vigraha Radhana Nityanana Shringara Dhamma Niramajanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Dhaniyunjato Bhi Vande Garoshi Charanaravinda. Śrī Vigraha Radhana Nityanana. Sri Guru is engaging the devotees, and he himself is also engaged in the aradhana, the worship of Sri Vigraha, the deity in the temple. Sri Vigraha Radhana Nityanana, Shringar, decorating service, and Nana means various, and various other services to the Vigraha, the deity, such as Mandira Marjana, cleaning the temple, Ado, and etc., decorating and other things, cooking, all of these activities. Vigraha means Vishesh, Graha, Grahan, to accept. So, because the conditioned soul, he cannot see Krishna with his material senses. He cannot serve Krishna in the conditioned state. Therefore, Vigraha, especially to accept our services, Sri Krishna appears as the deity. So, a person who they may be in the conditioned state, but they take shelter of Śrī Guru, receive Diksha initiation and mantra, and then they can begin to render service to the deity. They can decorate Krishna, they can feed Krishna, they can fan Krishna. So this is most wonderful. Nama vigraha swarup tin ekarup, tin bheda nahi tin chidananda roop. In Chaitanya Charitamrita it is said, the name of Krishna, the deity of Krishna, Nam Vigraha Swarup, and the form of Krishna who's playing right now in Golok Vrindavan. He's just calling the cows together and his friends and calling them together, and he's about to bring them back into the village, return to the Nanda Kirak, to the Goshala of Nanda Maharaj just outside the Nandagal right now. So that Krishna who's playing right now, this Krishna who is on the altar, and this name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Nama Swarup Vigraha, Tina Ekarup, these three are one. They're not three different things. Tin Bheda Nahi, there's no difference between these three. Tin Chidananda Rup, all three are the Chidananda Rup, Sachidananda. The eternal, condensed embodiment of existence, consciousness and joy. It's amazing. So, service to Vigraha is also one kind of service to Nam. The conditioned soul has so many anarthas. He has Kadarya-shil. Kadarya-shil means impious tendencies or inclination to do irreligious activities. Kadarya-shil. And also Vikshipta Chitta, restless mind, distracted mind. So because of these two things, it's very difficult for the conditioned soul to chant the holy name attentively and thereby realize the glory of the holy name. And therefore, in the beginning, especially for the Kanishta Adhikaris, Achayam eva haraye pujam ya sadayate natad bhakteshu chanyeshu sa bhakta prakrita smrita. The Prakrita Bhaktas, the devotees still in the materialistic stage, it is essential for them to be engaged in the service of the Vigraha. Don't think that the deity is a stone statue. Achay Vishnu Shiladi Gurshu Naramati. Yasha Naraki Saha. One who thinks that the deity is made of stone or metal or wood, then he is like a resident of hell. He already has his passport and visa to go to hell. So don't think that the deity is made of stone. Deity is Chidananda Rup, directly Krishna Swarup, himself. Then one might say, but Krishna is restless, running around here and there. Deity is standing very still. He's not moving. Yes, that's to help us. Krishna thinks your mind is so disturbed and restless and moving all the time. Okay, I'm going to come in a form that's completely still to make your mind become steady so that you can overcome Vikshipta Chitta, distraction. Then, when we serve the deity by the Pancharatrik process, that is Sodash Upachar, offering 16 items. Supreme Lord has said, I promise to reveal my divine form to that person who worships me with 16 items. Esha, Pushpanjali, through flowers, through asan, through padya, through the achaman, argya, madhuparka, tail, oil, vastra, deep, pushpa, naivedya. Through 16 articles, if someone will offer them systematically every day to the deity, then Krishna will reveal and one will see, Pratyamanahi tu mi sakshat Brajendanandan. You are not a deity. You are the son of Nanda Maharaj himself. Wonderful. So Krishna deity is very still because our mind is restless. When we focus on the service of the deity, when our mind becomes still, then the deity starts moving. Then he'll smile and move his eyebrows. And look here and there. But not when our mind is restless. So Krishna is very kind. So to make that transition from our material condition stage to when we can realize the Roop of Krishna, that's the beginning stage. And then afterwards Roop, Gun, Parika, Lila, so on. To make that transition from the condition stage to the realization of the aprakrita vastu, supernatural realm. So Śrī Guru engages the disciple. Śrī Vigraharadana Nityanana Shringaratan Mandira Marjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Sthaniyundatopi Vande Guru Śrī Charanad. So Harinam is independent, Swatantra. It is Purna. Krishna Nama Purna Nava Bhakti Vidahai. All 9 types of bhakti are included just in the chanting of Harinam. But because of our Kardarya Shil and Vikshipta Chitta, it's difficult to access that experience. And so the path of Archan is very helpful. So in Bhajan Rahasya, at the end of Bhajan Rahasya, though Bhajan Rahasya is only about chanting the holy name, in the end Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur has given a brief Archan Padati, just some method of Archan that you can perform every day. And then when you are doing the Archan and making the offering and remembering your mantras, then when you take your Japamala to chant Hare Krishna, you will feel so unembodied that you realize, actually I'm not chanting, the name is coming. The name himself is appearing. Atashri Krishna Namadina Bhavat Graham Indriyo Sevan Mukhi Jivado Swayameva Spuratyada. Although the name, form, qualities and pastimes are beyond the senses, when one becomes Sevan Mukhi, as soon as we become attentive to service, then the name, form, qualities and pastimes of Krishna manifest. So, especially those who are grihastha, because if you are brahmacharis and sannyasis and you're living in a temple, there's always a deity there. So one way or another, one participates in the archan of the deity. To witness the arti, one gets the same benefit as actually offering the arti. If one is beholding the arti with devotion. But for those who are householders, who are living at home, they must have a deity in their home. And do puja every day. Otherwise, one is bound to be overwhelmed by bahirmukata or vimukata, that is indifference to God. This is not only true, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, this is not only true within our Gaudiya tradition or in Vaishnavism in general, but in any religion in the world where there is no worship of a vigraha, some form, you will always find vimukata, that is indifference and indifference to God. In other words, your life becomes the center of everything, and God is, I believe in God. Oh God, please, I'm making my order on Amazon to you now. Please send me this, this and this and this. It's not devotion. The focus is not on God, the focus is on ourselves. So, especially in the first stage, Kanishta Adhikari, it's essential, and the householders, they must have deities and serve them every day. Otherwise, you think, this is my house, this is my refrigerator, this is my food. No. This is Krishna's house. This is Krishna's food. I am collecting the bhog to offer to Krishna. I am cleaning for Krishna. So everything becomes connected with Krishna, and one's vimukata, that is indifference to God, which is the root cause of our material existence, becomes removed. So, Śrī Vigraharadana Nityanana Sringaratan Mandira Marjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam, that means Guru engages the devotees, Chani Yunjapatopi, and he is also engaged himself. Vande Guru Śrī Charana. So then, Srila Vishnu Thakur is praying to his Gurudev, Sri Radharaman Chakravarti. Chaturvidha Śrī Bhagavat Prasada Swadhana Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangan Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadeva Vande Guru Śrī Charanaravinda. Sri Gurudev is offering very delicious prasadam of 4 types, which are the Chaturvida, 4 types, that which is the chewed, licked, drunk and sucked. These 4 types of preparations Sri Guru is offering to Sri Krishna, and then this Mahaprasad, transcendental Mahaprasad, is distributed to all the devotees. And when Sri Guru sees that all the devotees are honoring Mahaprasad, then he is very happy. He feels great joy. Why? In Bhagavad Gita, there Sri Krishna said, Yagya Shishtasinaha Santo Muchante Savakilbishai Bunjate Taitakam Papam Ye Pachantyatmakaranat. Those persons who taste the remnant of sacrifice, in other words, those persons who only eat what has been offered to the Supreme Lord, they become free from all sins. But those who eat that which is not offered, and they are eating for their own pleasure, they are only eating sin. In other words, the conditioned souls in this world are entangled in the reactions of their karma. And every time we eat things which are not offered by Krishna, then we just add to that mountain of karma. We become more and more entangled in the material world. But every time, in a mood of service, when we honor the remnants of Krishna, the food stuff that's been offered to Krishna, then that is destroying our sins, making us become disentangled from material existence, purifying our body and purifying the mind. Then with a pure mind, one can engage in smaran. It's impossible to remember Krishna with an impure mind. This is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Swarup Damodar Goswami, Vishayira ana koila malinai man, malin manahoy nahi Krishna smaran. If you eat the food stuff which was prepared by materialistic persons, then your consciousness becomes malin, contaminated. Malin manahoy nahi Krishna smaran. And the contaminated consciousness will think of this, it will think of that, but it won't think of Krishna. And even if it thinks of Krishna, it will think of Krishna, but it will be a material conception of Krishna, not actually an internal spurti. One cannot be engaged, absorbed in continuously experiencing the vision of Krishna in the heart. That's the real meaning of smaranam. With an impure consciousness. And the main cause of impure consciousness is the partaking of impure foodstuffs. Therefore, Sri Guru is so happy to offer the bhog to Sri Krishna and then distribute that transcendental prasadam and see everyone being saved from material existence. Prasad means mercy. So it's mercy. But prasad also means something else. Prasad means clarity. With that which is clear. And so, our consciousness is covered with the dust of sattva, rajas and tamas, rajas. And when the chitta becomes prasad, clear, then reflected in our purified chitta, we can have the darshan of Sri Krishna. So this is prasad. So this is the general meaning of the verse. The deeper meaning is that the pure devotee, Sri Guru, experiences in Mahaprasadam the Adaramrita, the nectar of Krishna's lips. You can see in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, when Govinda, he used to bring Jagannath Mahaprasad and put the prasad in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He would say, oh, divide it into portions and send to Paramananda Puri and Brahmananda Bharati. He would not even think of eating before his senior Vaishnavas. They're the godbrothers of his own Guru, Ishvara Puripad. They're the disciples of Madhavendapuri. So Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Lord himself, but showing us the path of pure bhakti, he will not eat before that prasad has gone to the senior Vaishnavas. So then, when Govinda had then he would take and he would smell that prasadam and go into a state of ecstasy. Gopya kimacharamayad kushalam svaveno damodaradra sudam api gopikanam bhungte swayam yadavasista rasam radinyo risattatosru mumuchustaravo yadaryaha. Mahaprabhu would begin to recite this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam just by smelling the Jagannath Mahaprasada. In this verse, Srimati Radhika and Braj Gopis, they're in their homes. And Krishna is far away, but they can hear the sound of his flute. And Radhika becomes jealous of the flute. What is this? Gopya kimachradayam kushalam svavena. What tapasya, what austerities did this piece of bamboo do in his previous life? That now, damodaradra sudam api gopikanam, that this flute is drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips. She's thinking, if she hears the sound of flute, then she thinks, oh, that means Krishna's kissing the flute. And she becomes jealous of the flute. Damodaradra sudam. She's saying, Damodar, who is this flute? He's a newcomer. We know Krishna since we were babies, since he was Damodar. We remember when his mother tied him up, when he was a naughty little boy. We know him since then. This flute just came along. Now, how did this flute become so close to him? Damodaradara sudam api gopikana means this nectar of Krishna's lips belongs to us gopis, not to this flute. Krishna is a gopa and we are gopis, so we have the first rights on this nectar. This bamboo is from the family of trees. It's not even a human being, what to speak of the gop caste. This Venu also is masculine. Masculine person should not drink the lips of another masculine person. So this is quite an injustice, and Radharani is jealous and criticizing. Bhungte swayam yadav. Oh, if you say that this flute is actually like a saki and only has a masculine name, because sometimes the sakis, the gopis become very bold. And they play like the role of Krishna. And Krishna plays the role like a gopi. So then we can say, Bhungte swayam yavadashishta rasam radinyo. This flute is so wicked that a heroine has sakis and she dances and plays with the hero, and then she arranges for the hero to dance with her sakis. But this flute is keeping all the nectar for himself and not giving anything to anyone else. There's no avashish, there's nothing left. Avashish, there's no remnant left for us. He's drinking all the nectar and not giving any nectar to us. Bhungte swayam. Swayam means swatantra, independently. Oh, this is very bad. If the flute is a saki, then a saki never meets with the hero independently. The heroine meets with the hero, and then the saki can meet with the hero only on the instigation of the heroine, of the group leader. But this flute is a saki, and independently is tasting the nectar of Krishna's lips. This is very bad. And look what's happening. When Krishna plays the flute, then the honey is dripping from the honeycombs on the branches of the trees. It's like the trees are crying golden tears. And the lotus flowers in the Jamuna are blossoming. So Radhika thinks, oh, actually the river is like the mother and the trees are like the fathers of this bamboo. Right? Because bamboo is the family of trees. And because the bamboo is fed by the water of the river, like a mother, so the trees and the river, they're like the parents, the Arya, Yatarya. They're like the parents of the flute. So if some young man becomes very successful in his life, then the mother and father, they're just crying with ecstasy. The father is crying and the mother is blossoming. So In Mahabhav, Radhika is seeing the honey dripping from the trees and the lotus flowers blossoming in the Jamuna. She's thinking, oh, these are like the parents in ecstasy, that our descendant is so successful to be such an intimate associate of Krishna and relish this nectar. So this is Chaturvidha Śrī Bhagavat Prasada. When the pure Vaishnavas, only smelling the prasadam, they become lost in the nectar of the Radharani's prem in Srimad Bhagavatam, because this prasad is Adaramrita. It's the nectar of Krishna's lips. It is a phela. Phela means that Krishna's saliva is mixed in with it. Or, when the pure Vaishnava sees the Mahaprasad, he may think, Krishna Vaktram Bojo Chishtam Prasadam Paramadarat Data Danishtaya Devi Kim Manesyami Te Grataha. Raghunath Das Goswami is absorbed in Harinam, and he sees internally he is actually a very beautiful maid servant of Radhika, Rati Manjari. In the afternoon, Radhika has cooked very delicious sweets, Manohar Laddu, Amrita Keli, and she puts these sweets in a clay pot and gives them to Rati Manjari, and Rati Manjari sets off from Yavat and goes to Nandagal. And there, Rati Manjari gives these sweets cooked by Radhika to Krishna. Then Sri Krishna, he tastes these sweets. And when Krishna tastes these sweets, he can feel what Radharani was feeling when she was cooking. Because when you cook, your consciousness goes into the food. So it's not that Krishna is tasting the sugar and the elaichi and all the... Yeah, he's tasting that also. But what Krishna is really tasting in this offering is the love of Radhika. And Krishna, he tastes something, but he leaves some remnant also. Then, Danishta Sakhi, who is a servant in the house of Nanda and Yashoda, in Nandagal, she takes Krishna's remnant and she puts it in a leaf and gives to Rati Manjari. Here, you can take this to Radhika. Then Radhika, taking some remnants of Krishna, comes back. Krishna Vaktrambo Jyotishtam, the Uchishta of the lotus face of Krishna, Prasadam Paramadhyat. When will I stand in front of Radhika? And Radhika is feeling so much separation. And she's wondering, did Krishna appreciate the sweets that I cooked for him? And she's so curious. And Rati Manjari, she is coming before Radhika and giving. With great respect, oh, here is Krishna's remnant. And then Radhika is taking the remnant of Krishna, and Radhika is now tasting the loving feelings that Krishna was feeling when he was tasting the sweet, and realizing the loving feelings of Radhika when she was cooking. And now Radhika is relishing Krishna's feelings. And then Radhika is giving to the Manjaris, and the Manjaris are giving to Lalita Vishaka era, and then Rupa Manjari, like this, and Gurudev, and then it's coming to me. This is prasad. And then when we taste this prasad, then we can realize what Gurudev was realizing. When Gurudev was realizing the feelings of Rati Manjari and Rupa Manjari, when they were realizing what Radharani was realizing, when she was realizing what Krishna was realizing, when he was realizing what Radhika was feeling when she was cooking. This is prasad. So, Chaturvidha Śrī Bhagavat Prasad Svādhano Triptan Hari Bhakta Sangam Kritvaiva Triptim Bhajata Sadeva Vande Guroshi Charanaravindam. Why? Because the Alokika Lokottara Padathanam Prabhava Kopyanagalaha Ratim Tadvisham Chaso Vasate Tornamekada. Rupa Goswami Pad said that the Lokottara Padartha, transcendental substances, they have an unlimited influence. Prabhav Anagala. Agala is the bolt on the door. You know, if there's a big old wooden door and they have a long wooden thing that you put in the latch like this and it closes the door. So then you're limited, you cannot go outside. But if you're anagala, then you are free and you can go. So the power of transcendental things is prabhava kopyanagala, is unlimited. Ratim tad vishayam, it causes the appearance of love and the appearance of the object of love in one's heart simultaneously and immediately. This is the power of Charnamrita, this is the power of Tosi leaves offered to the Lord, this is the power of Mahaprasadam. So the pure Vaishnavas, when they taste the Mahaprasadam, then they become overwhelmed with such feelings. So then Srila Vishnu Thakur is praying to his Guru Pada Padma. Śrī Radhika Madhavayara Para Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namna Pratikshana Svatana Lolopasya Vande Guru Śrī Charanarabindam Vande Guru Śrī Charanarabindam Vande Guru Śrī Charanarabindam. At first we have heard the glories of Śrī Guru, which are can be seen from the outside, which indicate some internal glories. But now Srila Vishnu Thakur is describing a very internal glory of Śrī Guru. What is that? Śrī Radhika Madhavayo Apara. Apara means unlimited. Guna Rup Lila Guna Rupa Namnam. Unlimited names, unlimited qualities, unlimited pastimes of Radha Madhav. Pratikshana Lolupasya means that Gurudev is lolup, greedy. Intense greed for what? The Ashwadana, to taste the sweetness of Radha Krishna's Nam, Rup, Gun and Lila. When? Pratikshana, at every second. So now the internal Swarupa of Guru is described, the heart of Śrī Guru. He is at every second filled with intense greed to taste the names, forms, qualities and pastimes of Radha Madhav. It's amazing. Why? Because Radha and Krishna, they have the anurag for each other. Sadanubhuta api yaha koryang navanavam priyam. When they see each other, it is as if they have never seen each other before. And even as they are looking at each other, at each moment, Krishna seems to be newer and newer. And the love that they feel is newer and newer at every moment. So Radha and Krishna's meeting is always a learning experience. Learning means you discover something new. So Radha Krishna's meeting is always a learning experience because they're experiencing new love for each other and new beauty within each other. Anurag. And this anurag has such a thirst that it does not matter how much Radhika drinks the beauty of Krishna. She feels as if she has not tasted even one drop. Saki hai, Saki hai, Krishna Madhurya Amritera Sindhu Mora Mana Sanipati Sab Pite Kori Mati Durdai Vaidya Nade Ekabindu. When Radhika sees Sri Krishna, then she said, "Oh Sakhi, the sweetness of Krishna is like an endless ocean. And And I am like a person with Sanipat Rog. Sanipat Rog is a disease where you have a very high fever and you're about to die and you are burning and you are so thirsty. You want to drink. But if you taste one drop of water, you'll die. So then the doctor, oh, give me water. And then your friend is bringing you water. The doctor says, no, don't give him even one drop, he'll die. So Radharani is saying this, that Krishna's beauty and sweetness is like an ever-increasing ocean. And I am so greedy, I want to drink the whole ocean. But at the same time, Durdaya Vaidya, that means the doctor of my misfortune won't let me even taste one drop. Though she's tasting so much, but because the thirst is not going away. You understand? If you have a thirst which doesn't go away, you drink and drink and drink, but the thirst is not going away. So you feel, I have not had one drop even. So Radhika feels like this to Krishna. Krishna also has an anurag to Radharani. It's amazing. Lampatyatona vavanam vishayam prakoravam aswadanam atimududuratam dadanaha aladayan amrita rashmi ivatilokim santapayam pralaya surya ivavabhati. Radharani herself has said, when I meet with Krishna, our love is such that this love is a lampat. Lampat means a greedy person, a complete debauchee, an insatiable person. So our love has lampatata, lampatyatona vavanam. And because our love is filled with such greediness, therefore we see each other as newer and newer at every moment. And therefore when we meet and then when we embrace, there is so much aswadan, tasting, that we both become completely intoxicated. And this anurag becomes Rudabhav and Adirudabhav. And when it becomes Adirudabhav, then aladayan amrita rashi iva tilokim. Just as the moon is the source of all amrita, nectar comes from the moon. All the nectar in the universe comes from the moon. When we meet, it is as if I am tasting all the nectar in the universe at the same time. But at the same time, Santapayam pralaya surya ivavabhati, I also feel separation. And the burning of this separation is like the sun at the time of dissolution of the universe. When it's time to destroy the whole universe, the sun becomes very hot and burns everything. And so this prem, this anurag, Mahabhav then becomes Adirudabhav, is a full tasting and full not tasting at the same time. And therefore it gives the highest pleasure. It gives the maximum amount of joy. For example, look, if you are eating, the food only gives happiness if you are hungry. So when you are hungry, you eat and you feel happiness. But the more you eat, as your hunger goes down, the less and less you like to eat until, oh, it's enough. And you stop. So the enjoyment of the food, the tasting of the food depends on the separation from the food, the hunger for the food. So no one actually experiences the full enjoyment except for Radha and Krishna. And Braj Gopis, when they come in that stage of Adirudha Mahabhav, because there is a full tasting and full separation at the same time. And so this is the Paramananda, supreme joy. Now, Śrī Guru, the pure Vaishnava, as the dasi, as a maidservant of Radhika, is the Tadatma. He has Tadatmya Bhav. That means the heart of Guru is one with the heart of Radhika. All the feelings of Radhika overflow into her maidservants. So if Radhika has this lampatyata, if Radhika is so intensely greedy at every moment, and this feeling is overflowing to her dasis and who have appeared in this world as Guru, then pratikshana swadana lolupasya vande guru Sri Charanaravinda. Understand something? We are singing this every day. Why? Because it is unlimited. The more we sing and pray to Guru and serve Guru, more realization will come. So then, Srila Vishnu Thakur is saying, Nikunja yuno rati keli sidai Yayani biyo kira pekshaniya Tatrati dakshar ati valabhasya Vande guru Sri Charanaravinda. Ati valabhasya. Oh Gurudev, you are very near and dear to the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. Tam gopika parishavarestarantanayanti kesi. You are very close to the lotus feet of the daughter of Vrishabhanu Maharaj. And Sham Sundar Krishna Chandra. And you, oh Gurudev, why are you very dear to Radha and Krishna? Because Nikunja yuno ratikali siddhyai. When Radha and Krishna meet in the beautiful Nikunjas of Braja, then, oh, you are so expert at assisting the Sakhis in making beautiful arrangements for the happiness of Radha Krishna when they meet together. Just like Rupa Goswami Padi said, Pramada Madana Yuddharan Vasambhava Kavyam Pramudituridayabhyam Hanta Brindavanishu Kimahami Ayuvabhyam Panaliyam Mukabhyam Chasakam Upaharisye Sadhu Madvikapurnam. When Radha and Krishna have met together, they're overjoyed seeing each other as if they have never seen each other before. Every meeting is like first time meeting. And then, even in that meeting, the next moment is like the first time before the previous moment. Okay? Patikshan at every moment. Milita milita milavochai, mili milan kibo, mili rak, rasakavara prema so pratichina bharata full. At every moment the joy is increasing because they meet and then the next moment they forget that they've met even. So at that time, then Radha Krishna, they become very eager for their loving pastimes. Pramada Madana Yutta. But these pastimes will be more ecstatic if at that time they are Pramada Madana, completely intoxicated. So Panaliyon Makabhyam, Krishna is thinking, oh, we should drink some honey wine. So at that time, Chasakam Upaharisye Sadhu Madvikapurnam, Rupa Goswami saying, when will I be Rupa Manjari? And Brinda Devi or any Ban Devi, that is a fairy of the forest, will give me a golden goblet full of the most fragrant and delicious honey wine. And then I will come and I will place the goblet of honey wine before Radha and Krishna. So in this way, this is called Anukul Seva. Exactly what Radha and Krishna need. Exactly what Radha and Krishna need at any particular moment. Then, Sri Ishvari Drishti Vagadi Sarvangita Vichakshanam. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur said, the maid servants of Radha and Krishna, they are Vichakshanam. They are expert. That at every moment they can read the expressions and the movements of the eyes and the hints and signals of Srimati Radhika. They know exactly what she needs at any moment. So Anukul Yena Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Uttama. This is Anukul Seva. Everything favorable. And therefore, Śrī Guru is very, very dear to Radha and Krishna. Because Krishna wants to relish Radhika's, because Radhika is quite reserved and she does not speak directly, she speaks with indirect meanings. But Krishna wants to see, oh, what will it be like if Radhika, the lock will come from her tongue? And she'll just speak freely. If she drinks some honey wine, then the tongue will become loose, and whatever she's feeling, she'll just say. And I can hear her whatever things she would be ashamed to say ordinarily. But those feelings, they'll be expressed directly. So then, when the maidservant comes and brings the honey wine, and then Krishna is saying, oh, drink. And Radhika's drinking and giving to Krishna, and Krishna's only pretending to drink and giving. Radhika's drinking, and then Krishna's pretending again. Krishna's becoming intoxicated because he sees the reflection of Radhika's face in the golden honey wine. And he becomes intoxicated only by Radhika's beauty. But then when Radhika has drunk some, she's looking around. Ha kim ke kim dadarani gogogor nitayam dad davati bayad vavriksha punja bib briho aham atra katham jijiva nyevam lagishyasi kada daitasya kante. Vishnu Thakur. He's saying, when will that day come? When Radhika has been drinking. And Krishna wants Radhika to embrace him. But she has not embraced him yet. And Radhika is drinking and looking around. And she says, Kim darani. She's stuttering because she cannot speak properly. She's so intoxicated. Ha kim darani go nitayam. Why is the whole world spinning? Davati. Bayad Vriksha Punja. Why are the trees running around? Bib, oh Krishna, I'm afraid. How will I stay alive? Oh, save me. And then Radhika embraces Krishna. Mevam lagishyati kada daitasikante. When will I see Radhika embrace Krishna around the neck in fear? Because she can't understand what's happening to her. Then Krishna is very satisfied. So, Nikunja yuno ratikali siddhya yayali be yuktira pakshne tattati dakshad ativalabhasya vande guru shitarana vindam. I pray to Gurudev. Gurudev is so dear to Radha and Madhav because she is so expert in assisting all the Sakis and making beautiful arrangements, anukul seva, favorable service when Radha and Krishna meet together. So then, Srila Vishnu Thakur is praying. Sakshat Hari Tvena Samasta Shaster Uttastatha Pavyata Eva Sadhi Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda. Sakshat Hari Tvena Samasta Shastra. All the scriptures say that Sri Guru is Sakshat Hari, directly a form of Hari, of Krishna himself. But at the same time, it does not mean that Guru is Krishna. But Kintu Prabhoya Priya Eva Tasya. He is one with Krishna because he is very dear to Krishna. Like an ambassador, when an ambassador comes to a country, he represents that whole country. So Sri Guru represents Krishna and the entire spiritual world. And Krishna also enters into Sri Guru and speaks through him. That means the Lord who is in our heart. We cannot see him, we cannot speak, we cannot hear him. But that Lord who is in our heart. Jive Sakshat Nahitati Jive Sakshat Nahitati Guru Chaitya Rupe Shiksha Guru Hoy Krishna Mahanta Surupe. In Chaitanya Taramrita it is said, we cannot perceive our Chaitya Guru, the Lord in the heart. So he comes outside in the form of Shiksha Guru, so he can speak very plainly and we can hear what he's saying to us. So you have to keep two visions at the same time. Gurudev is a Vaishnava, pure devotee, and this is one form of Krishna. Yadyapi Amara Guru Chaitanya Radas. Although I know Gurudev is a servant of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Tatapi Jani Ami Tahara Prakash. At the same time, I see that Gurudev is a manifestation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Guru Krishna Rupahaya Shastra Pramane. Guru Rupe Krishna Kripa Karin Bhaktagane. See, Guru is the Krishna Rupa, the form of Krishna through which Krishna gives mercy. Krishna will not give mercy to people of this world in his direct form, but the form of Krishna in which Krishna gives mercy is the form of Gurudev. So, Sakshat Rittvena Samasta Shastra. All the scriptures say this. Acharya mam bijaniya navamanyeta kaichit namatya buddhya suyeta sarva devamayo guru. Krishna said, you should know, I am the Acharya. Acharya mam, the Acharya is my very self. Navamanyeta kaichit, never disrespect Śrī Guru. Even in mind. That's why we sang the song today. Śrī Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bandho Mui Savdhan. Mate means I bow down to Gurudev and pray Savdhan very, very carefully. Because it's the tendency of the conditioned material mind to see fault everywhere. So that's not good if you see fault in anyone. But if this fault-finding tendency you project onto Gurudev, Savdhan, be careful. It will make complete destruction of spiritual life. As soon as we become disconnected, all our energy. Guru Kripa Bina Nahi Koi Sadhana Bal. Sadhan has no bal, no strength without Guru Kripa. So if someone is chanting, doing so many things, but nothing's happening, because no connection. Due to offense. But when we are connected with Guru, then all hearing, chanting, remembering becomes nectar and filled with inspiration and realization. Oh, I remember your Guru Padma, my very near and dear godbrother and Abhina Swarup, the Srila Bhaktivinoda Bon Maharaj. He was saying, I don't know what is happening now in Kali Yuga. He said, Mahaprabhu said, Trinadapi Sunichena, be more humble than a blade of grass and respect everyone. But nowadays, the disciples, what to speak of respecting everyone? They don't even respect Gurudev. They can insult Gurudev and find fault with Gurudev. So then he said one Bengali phrase. Tarana Kanda Gyan. Yarana Kanda Gyan, Tarahoi Dibya Gyan. It means that person who has no Kanda Gyan. Kanda Gyan means the knowledge of divisible substances. In other words, the knowledge that we have of this world is called Kanda Gyan. We can say Kanda Gyan, it just means common sense. Just common sense of life. So Yarana Kanda Gyan, Tarahoi Divya Gyan. That person who has no common sense, how are they going to get Divya Gyan, transcendental knowledge? So he was saying, lamenting a little, in this Kali Yuga, the people, they have no common sense. If they have no common sense, just how to live. And just like, don't insult anyone, or at least don't insult your guru. Then how you get Divya Gyan if you have no just basic common sense? I just made a program with Van Mars, did you see, in St. Petersburg? Very beautiful. I was so happy to see him after long. I hadn't seen him for some time. That's how. So, here, Saksha Dharitvaina Samasta Shastra. After explaining the general qualities of Guru and the outer symptoms, and then going into the deep inner symptoms, now it's like a sandwich. The tattva at the beginning and the end, with the sweet thing in the middle. So at the end, now Srila Vishnu Thakur is coming back to the tattvas, to the Siddhanta. Sakshat Haritvaena Samasta. You should see Gurudev is the non-different from Supreme Lord himself. As one would have respect for God, one should respect Gurudev in that way, even more. Even. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatagaro tasyaiti katita yata prakashante mahatmana. Only unto that person who has the spontaneous pure love to Krishna and same love, not less, for his Guru, then all the mysteries of the scriptures are manifested automatically, prakashante mahatmana, in the heart of that person. So then Srila Vishnu Thakur is saying, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado Yasya prasadam nagati kutopi dhyayam stubham tasya yasya chisandam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasado. By the mercy of Gurudev, one attains the mercy of Krishna. Yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. Without the yasya aprasad, it's a long A. Yasya aprasad becomes yasya prasadam. Don't say yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. Then you're saying, then by whose mercy you get nowhere. If you make a short A, so don't say this. Yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. By the mercy of Guru, one gets nowhere. Don't say this every day to the spiritual master. Yasya prasadam nagati kutopi. Without the mercy of Guru, one cannot get the divine destination or auspicious destination. Dayam stuvams tasya yasyastri sandhyam. Three sandhya, 3 times of the day. That means morning, noon, and evening. Dayam, I am meditating on Guru because Guru has given mantra, Guru mantra, and morning, noon, and evening we remember Guru's mantras and meditate on them. Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. So this is the miraculous thing. Mahat kripa bina kon kama bhakti noy. Krishna bhakti dura rahu sangsara nahi shai. Without the mercy of a great soul, nothing that we do will actually be bhakti. You have heard, hearing is bhakti, chanting is bhakti, and so on. Cleaning the temple, all these activities are bhakti. But actually, bhakti is the vilas of Swarup Shakti. It's the play of the internal potency. So you may do any activity with your material senses, but just because the senses are doing the activity will not make it bhakti. The Swarup Shakti has to descend onto the senses and take them over. And then the activity becomes bhakti. But that will only happen with the kripa. So Mahat Kripa Bina Kon Kama Bhakta, anything that you do will not be bhakti without the mercy of a pure devotee. What to speak of being bhakti, their sangsara ikshai, that means the entanglement in the material world will not even become loose and diminish slowly. One will remain stuck in the mud, same attachments, same desires, same ignorance, year after year after year. Even though it seems like practicing bhakti. Why? Because kripa is necessary. Bhakti is not the activity of the physical senses, of a conditioned soul who is covered with the apparatus and so on. But rather, bhakti is the Swarup Shakti descends onto the senses. Avi bhuya manobrito brajanti tat surupatam. You know? No, you should know. Avirbhuya manobrito. It descends into the manobritis and then onto the senses. It's like an avatar, like the Supreme Lord descends, bhakti descends also. So, without the mercy, Guru Kripa Bina Nahi Koi Sadhan Bhav, no sadhan has strength without the mercy of Guru. And if one gives his life fully in the service, manobhishta service of Gurudev, then Yasya Prasad Bhagava Prasado, Sri Krishna and his associates will appear and they will absorb us into their eternal pastimes. It may seem very far away now. It may seem remote or even impossible. But Utsahan Nisyat Daryat. No, Utsahan, be enthusiastic. Nischay, be confident, be certain that it's true. But Daryat, be patient. It's true, it's coming. It's on the way. But if there's some delay, one's enthusiasm and confidence should not go down. This is the definition of Darya, patience. Patience means if your enthusiasm and your confidence is not going down, but rather it's increasing, even though time is going by. That's called patience. But if our enthusiasm is reducing, our confidence is going down, that means we don't have patience. We cannot wait. For that, the arrival of that mercy. But that mercy is coming. For any sincere disciple, that mercy is coming. Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling in South India, he came to one village, and there was one Brahmin there, but he was born in a Brahmin family, but he was not very well educated. He could read Sanskrit, but not very well. He couldn't understand it very well, and he could not pronounce it properly. So the other Brahmins, who were the sticklers for the correct pronunciation and grammar and everything, Vaikaranas, they used to laugh at him. He's not pronouncing it correctly. But still, he was reading. Mahaprabhu came to him, and he said, the other Brahmanas, they ridicule you, they are laughing, and you're reading, your pronunciation is not so precise. Why are you reading this Gita every day? So then that Brahmin said, Biprakahi murka ami shudartana jani shuda Gita pari guru agyamani. That Brahmin said, I'm a murka. Means I'm a literate, foolish person. But I read the Gita. I don't know if I'm reading properly or improperly. But I do it because Guru Agyamani, Gurudev told me to do it. Agya Gurunam Avicharaniya. The order of Guru cannot be debated. It cannot be negotiated. It cannot be deliberated on. If Gurudev tells this, just do it. You can deliberate on how to do it in the best way, but don't deliberate whether or not to do it. Understand? So Agya Gurunam Avicharaniya. Don't deliberate on whether or not to do it. Deliberate on how to do it. So Guru Agamani, I'm foolish. Gurudev told me, so I'm doing it. Then Mahaprabhu noticed that tears were flowing from his eyes. He said, if you don't properly understand it, why are you crying? So then that Brahmin, he said, Yavat paran tavat pan tara darshan. Lagi Gita Parina Charino Moraman. As long as I'm following the order of my Guru and reading, I can see Krishna. He's standing on the chariot of Arjuna, holding the reins with the whip in his hand. He's perspiring from working so hard and covered in dust from the battle, and he's totally concentrated in what? Serving his devotee Arjuna. And when I see Krishna, the Supreme Lord, being the servant of his own devotee, so I'm crying. And because of this, as long as I read, I can have Krishna's darshan. And because of this, my mind cannot give up this reading of Gita. So what happened? There is no material qualification that makes us qualified to realize Krishna. Only Bhaktyaka Yesham Guru Devat Atma. When we accept our Gurudev to be our Atma, more dear than our own soul, and render undivided, one-pointed bhakti to the spiritual master, then even if one is illiterate, even you don't know Sanskrit, even you don't know French or anything, you have no qualities, but just this one quality of devotion to Guru, and Yasya Prasadat Bhagavat Prasado, the mercy of Krishna will come, and all perfection will come in life. So Vande Guru Sri Charana Ravinda. Then that's 8 verses of Gurvāṣṭakam, but there's one verse, it's called Falsruti. That means what is the fruit of reciting this Astakam? So then Vishnu Thakur is writing, Śrīmad Gurvāṣṭakam etad uchte brahme muhurte patati prayatnat yashtena brindavananat sakshat sevaivalabhya jana santo eva. Oh, that person who will rise before dawn every morning and in the Brahma Muhurta sing Patati Prayatnat. Prayatna means with effort, not in a mechanical way. Not, I have to do this every morning in a mechanical, but with effort. That means really singing carefully and from your heart and remembering and praying what is the meaning and the glory of Gurudev. So patati prayatnat, yastena brinda nata sakshat. That person will have the direct darshan of Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. Sevaiva labhya dhanashanta eva. And at the end of his life, in this life, he will attain Swarup Siddhi, realizing his Swarup. And at the end of his life, he'll attain Vastu Siddhi, in his Swarup, entering into the Krishna's eternal pastimes. Now, many acharyas, at the end of any prayer, they give a verse, which is the Falsruti, the fruit of hearing. And it's the fruit of hearing or the fruit of reciting that prayer. And it's very important. Why? Understand the significance of Falsruti, the fruit of hearing. The reason is this, that the pure devotees are Satya Sankalpa. Satya Sankalpa means whatever they decide and whatever they say, Krishna will make it come true. Even Krishna will make the word of a devotee come true at the expense of his own promise. As he broke his own promise to keep true the words of Bhishma Dev. So if a Vaishnava will say something, the Vaishnava has the characteristic of Satya Sankalpa that Krishna will make it true, so it's 100% true. So when Srila Vishwanath Thakur said, if someone will every day recite this prayer to Guru with great effort in the Brahma Muhurta, he'll attain his spiritual form and enter into the pastimes of Krishna. Because Vishwanath Thakur is a pure Vaishnava, this statement, Krishna will make it come true. Because Vishwanath Thakur is Satya Sankalpa. So we put great hope in this. And if we will follow this and sing this song every day, deeply meditate on it and try to live according to its conclusions, then because Vishwanath Thakur is Satya Sankalpa, Sri Krishna will make sure that at the end of this life, we'll enter into Krishna's eternal pastimes. Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam, Vande Guru Sri Charanara Jaya Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Deva Guru Deva Jaya Guru Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Guru Dev Jaya Jaya Guru Dev Guru श्री गुरु पूर्णिमा महामहोत्सव की जय, श्री व्यास पूज की जय, जय गौर सीतनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।